nice big smile. Hi guys, it's Chrissy, finally a farm girl, and as you can see, I have a special guest today. This is my friend Peter, and geez, I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of when we actually first met, and
it hasn't been that long.
No, I was gonna say meet and greet, but were you at my meet and greet?
I was. It hasn't been that long because I came back to cross stitch like many people during the pandemic.
Okay.
So
all right.
It's been at least 2-3 years.
All right, that was going to be one of my questions. If you're new here, this isn't how I usually start, but we have a lot to share today and a lot of really good stuff. Peter is an awesome stitcher. He stitches on a higher count than me for the most part, but as opposed to going through the beginning like, hey, if you're new, subscribe, we're just going to jump in. And I was going to ask you just a couple of questions. You're a Floridian.
I live in Florida.
You live in Florida, but where are you from?
Originally from Illinois.
Okay.
And then did my graduate work at North Carolina State University, and then came to Florida for work.
And you do, I always just think blueberries, but it's agricultural type.
I do fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
All of them.
At U of F.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's the Gainesville area. It's where my daughter lives. So it's kind of fun because you're close enough to. This was a drive. What was that? An hour and a half? Is that what it is? Okay.
Yep. I got a heavy foot.
I was gonna say, but I don't know how my daughter will leave here and go, I'm home. I'm like, I wouldn't even be to Brick City by then. Okay. And so you very first stitched when? You got back into it, pandemic, but when did you ever first pick up stitching?
So Illinois winters are long and dark, and so just one day I said, let's learn how to do some cross stitch to cure the boredom.
Yeah.
And then spring came, I stopped my piece and didn't go back to it. So
was it a grandma, mom? Like where had you seen
my mom.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's one of those things that somewhere in my parents' house is a headless Precious Moments rabbit.
A headless Precious Moments
rabbit. I never
rabbit.
Finished it.
That is hysterical. So you even know your very first piece.
Oh yeah, because it was a cute little rabbit holding its carrot. So it's just
that's really
never got
cute.
to the head. So
and then you jump from a headless rabbit straight on into Blackbird. And what's your favorite count?
Actually, it's not Blackbird. My first piece back was the Quaker Virtues.
Okay. Ooh.
So it was that big octagon piece.
Right.
36 count because I hadn't done linen before.
So is that your choice, linen over Ada?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I prefer the appearance of the linen.
Yeah.
It just looks smoother. So it's.
I think it's a combination. I like the feel. I like the look. I love 56 count when you're looking at one strand of thread. I love that. However, the 32 I can move faster. So
so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Where I'm doing the casting a spell style with you and Linda and others, and that's on 32, and I did 2 over 2, and it's like different. This is why I like one thread, is because I don't have to make sure that my threads are not twisted.
And I think it's funny because my dad did some stained glass.
Oh.
My dad was an engineer, tool and die maker actually, but everything was precise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so interesting because I think this is the good balance that you have in our group, is because you're definitely very meticulous and you can see it in your work and you got your notes. And for me, it's like...
you can definitely see it in my backs. That's what I always get.
Yeah.
Not made fun of, but it's something that everybody points out is my backs. So
you should model stitch for Hands Across the Sea. No.
No.
Is this... Because I think women would want to know, is this what you do like we do for therapy or to relax? Is this your downtime?
No, this is I need something to do in the evenings that isn't just looking at internet, watching TV.
Right, okay.
It is something to do.
Right.
And keep me busy.
Yeah.
So, otherwise I'd work all the time. So.
Right?
Yeah.
And who wants to do that? You get wrinkly and stressed. And
yeah. So this is my relaxation.
Right. All right. So sometimes I throw out there, did you do anything amazing this week? I kind of talk about, did you do anything?
Nope.
nice?
Nope. Just I'll show you my stitching that I've been working on, and that's the most
Right.
work.
The last time I think I saw what you were working on was the Sunday Stitch-In at Brick City. That is our local needle shop.
Yep.
And do you also have an opportunity to go to Tinka's, correct?
Yeah. So I am very greedy, and I've got two LNSs. So Victorian Rose Needle Arts is in Gainesville. So they're
She moved? Did she
she's
just
in
move?
the process of moving. She's going to
Okay.
be, and so she's going to be within 5 minutes of my house.
And I hear
And-
she
and,
does
yeah.
have some good sampler
Oh,
and
yeah.
linen that's
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
so-
have to make a trip there.
Yeah. Oh, give it a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But, there's a Christmas party, December 17th,
Oh.
I think. It's on her website.
Okay,
So,
I'll have to look
uh,
at that.
it's going to be at her new location. So.
Okay, because see, I think originally she was in a little house. I couldn't get in there with Philip.
Yep.
Then found out she was only 15 minutes from Olivia. So now I'm thinking she might be even closer.
Yeah. Yep,
Holy
so-
cow! Let's hope we can get in.
It'll be fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to do whips first? What you worked
Yeah.
on?
So we'll start with. So I've got everything that I did in the month of October. Yeah. So it's 3 things. Don't get too excited. The first thing is the Witch in Her Garden.
There you go.
It's part of the birthday your birthday sal.
Yes.
So
Which a lot of people have finished, and I have not.
yeah. So this is my finish. So this is on the 36 count vintage country mocha using 1 thread over 2. All of the called for except for my pumpkins. The pumpkins I just took some orange from Stash.
That's what I did too.
Yeah, so those are Classic Colorworks, Colonial Copper, Sweet Potato, and then the General Arts Nutmeg is that dark orange on the bottom. So,
I love sweet potato. It's
Yeah.
like my all-time.
yeah.
Your sunflowers seem a little brighter than mine.
Yeah, and that's the called for
Yeah.
gold leaf.
That's interesting because mine is, but I know that happens, and I
Yeah.
like got your initials in there. That was nice.
Yeah, so
You do a good job
that
on that.
was down here in the lower corner. That was just an addition that
I like it.
I looked in a different book and pulled out the alphabet
Yeah.
and the numbers just so that way I would remember when I did it. So
So, how you gonna finish it? We've seen a few different now.
yeah, so I'm gonna finish it in the called for. I got
Pumpkin.
I ordered the
Velvet.
velveteen and the pumpkin stem from.
The Country Stitches online.
Yep.
I
yep.
think we all kind of jumped on that when we did it, and then it
Well,
was
that's
interesting.
a funny
yeah.
that's a funny story about Linda. Is she sent out the email saying it's there.
It's there.
So,
Go now.
Go now.
right now
Yeah,
before.
so
Yeah.
so I think we all did, and so that's how I'm going to finish it. I may not use that base.
Right.
So it's got the wood base, and earlier this year I finished the Happy Birthday America, and so it's supposed to look like a cake plate.
Yeah.
So just it's a weird psychological thing I have to get over. It just seems a lot like what I did earlier this year.
Right.
So
Right. The only thing that I think it does, and you could actually do it with something else, is it kind of just rises it up.
yeah.
But there's a lot of things you could do if you wanted some height out of it. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that. And then I like that. Obviously, when we talk about Linda, everybody knows it's Stitchy Linda by now.
Yep.
You guys have known each other for, I thought I might say 4 years, but that's a guess. It's just a
No,
random guess.
Well, Linda helped me pick out the blue and green that's on my Quaker.
Okay.
So I've known her since I came back to Cross Stitch. So.
Okay. So pandemic.
Yep. Yeah.
Gotcha.
2020-ish.
Yeah.
So.
Jeez, I thought you guys went way back.
No. So, anyway, Linda's just very nice and
Yes.
so.
All
All right. So that was my first piece for October. My second piece for October is Oh Joyous Day
I got it.
by Blackbird Design. This is my Christmas Day start for Christmas 2021, last year. Last
So
Christmas.
actually last Christmas.
Yeah, so that last Christmas. And so then this is, I finished this
That is gorgeous.
this month, finally. So, and then this is Picture This Plus 40 count Heartland. So it is a different
The different
fabric
than the called for.
because the called for is Regency, which at the time was a little too green for my taste.
I love
so-
Heartland.
Yeah,
I've used that on so
Yeah,
many samples,
so-
and I love that.
yeah, and then this bottom row of flowers, there are some changes to the green because they just looked very similar, but in the picture, the stem, especially for that middle flower,
Yeah.
the stem is different, and so I wanted to show that in mine. So,
It looks good.
so I just I just looked at stash and picked out something different. So,
Make it your own.
yep. So,
Very cool.
and a lot of people don't put in the Oh Joyous Day; they put in a bird. But I put in some family members. So
Oh, right here over
right
the
above
house.
yeah, right above
Okay.
the house. So I just put in their names and then their wedding year.
That's
So.
cool.
Yep.
Did you use? Okay, so the pear is the called for.
Yeah,
That's an
the-
interesting
the
floss,
pear is,
isn't it?
The pear is the called for, and
Man.
it's 3 different colors
Wow.
of green.
Yeah,
to get
I've never
striped
seen that
effect.
before.
So, yeah.
Okay, so stitchers will want to know, when you're stitching with dyed floss, are you a cross as you go, or at the end of the row do you come back?
I do 1 X at a time.
Always? Like, is that
with
kind of your...
overdyed floss.
Okay,
I do
okay.
it 1 at a time.
Okay.
With DMC and silks that are not overdyed, I'll go back. and
Okay,
forth.
right. Finish the full row.
Yep.
That's gorgeous. So, off to the framer.
Yeah. I've got expensive taste in framing.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually do 2 or 3 things at a time because
Yeah.
where I go offers a % off when you take
In
multiples
volume?
in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so that's it.
Yeah, it's hard when you see people. I think the reason I get lucky with the Hobby Lobby is the fact that the guy that does my framing, Mike, had a frame shop in New Jersey or New York, I can't remember. But it makes a big difference. And you see people that go try Michael's and things like that, and then they're so unhappy. You'd be better off doing what you're doing,
Yeah,
especially
and-
on these pieces.
And where I go, it's a husband and wife, and
Okay.
the wife does cross stitch.
Oh.
So she knows
She gets it.
and appreciates the work. So,
Yeah, and the straightness. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing people complain the most about.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and then the third and final thing I worked on was the casting a spell, Sal.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to show yours.
Yeah, I actually, I can't say I took a little break from it, but I missed last Sunday doing FlossTube, but as many people know by now from Instagram, I had a friend that came down, and we actually met 8 years ago on Instagram. The quick version is my sister kept trying to get me to do more Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, yep.
And this is the family joke now, because once I started Instagram, we had rented the farm and kind of were checking out the whole area, like
Okay,
where we're
yep,
going to
yep.
stay. So anyways, through time and through kind of learning Instagram and playing at first the decor games and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff and winning things, I met Tina, and her name now is Team Egner. And she, for her family, it was Emily Ann's Closet, and her
Okay.
daughter's name is Emily Ann, and she also has her daughter has a chromosome disorder. So we had a lot in common. She did a variety of crafts, and at the time, she was kind of doing like the fat quarter shop.
Okay.
They'd send her the fabric,
Yep.
And so, anyways, we'd never met, and she we kept saying we needed to get together and meet, but when they're younger, you know me and
It's on.
StitchCon, it was a big ordeal for me
Yep.
to go. Well, she flew in, and it was crazy to finally meet her in person. So I didn't do too much, but I did. As far as the Casting a Spell by Blackbird Designs, this was something that we all got started at the last Brick City. She calls them the bare bones.
Retreat. Yep.
Yes. So we, Diane, a friend there, jumped on the boxes. We all painted them up, and I think I am working on this. I started this one because the OCD, which I don't have much, but it made me feel like I needed to complete the sampler side.
Yeah, 'cause the
yes.
XYZ is in that
Exactly.
upper corner.
So
yep.
yesterday, I also, my sister wasn't, where'd my little piece go? Oh, here it is. So this is
And this is using all the called for, correct?
everything, and I can't remember if this, I don't think this was the called for fabric. This is 30 count pecan shortbread by Legacy.
Okay.
So I got my letters finished and that, so I would love to say that by the end of October it'll all be finished, but I am really starting to feel like I'm over it. But I like it. Like,
Yeah.
once you start doing it, I
And
really
it goes,
like it.
The pieces themselves go
Yeah.
very quick.
And I'm using this wool to back everything, so they're all going to kind of be the same, and it makes them soft. Yeah, there's my little slit. And then what I thought I would do is go back when they're all finished, and then decide if I want to put a 2022 charm on one. I'm not going to put one on every one of those,
Right.
but kind of figure out how I'm going to finish it all up as far as the backs go.
How big is your
I'm
charm?
not going to glue they're only like that big.
Because what if you took out one of these little quilter
yeah.
stars and put the charm?
That'd be perfect.
Because the empty one is similar to that
Yes,
star, but
right.
put the charm there instead
Yeah.
of the square.
Yeah. And I mean, eventually,
Something to think about.
I moved the Halloween up because it didn't finish or I didn't like that you couldn't see the whole word.
Yeah.
And I'm really, I don't know why, but like, why do we dread certain pieces? I don't want to stitch that one. It's
goes
not,
quick.
does it?
Yeah, it does.
When you're looking at the design, you're like, oh, that'll take me all. But
Because it's a pattern that you can say, okay, this is
it's repetitive.
You do a radial,
Okay.
and go around, and it is fairly easy to
But-
set up.
And they're definitely my own. I didn't have the called for, not all of them. So they're pretty similar, but it would not look like somebody else's. So that's Casting a Spell.
I'm also participating in the casting a spell Sal. I got roped into it. I wasn't gonna do it, and then I'm gonna blame Ginger Schul's Instagram.
I'll tag her.
She's a beautiful stitcher, and she takes beautiful pictures as well.
Yes.
And so I saw her posting, and I'm like, oh shoot, I've gotta
I'm in.
I've got to participate as well because it's going to be beautiful and fun. And then driving to Brick City, I'm like, I really don't want to do orange, so what can I do instead? Well,
I can't believe you.
I did Christmas.
Can you get it in there? Can you?
Yeah, so
Oh
that's
my gosh.
that's my Christmas themed casting a spell.
That is
So-
okay. So talk
Yeah,
about this one.
Yeah. So these two squares and this top one are called for.
Okay.
This one, it's the called for
I'm gonna
pattern,
hold it a little.
but I changed the flower,
okay.
so that way it
Yep.
looked more like a poinsettia. These two, I just changed to some borders.
and
and then
cardinal.
The cardinal,
Okay.
and then on this one, I used this is a snowdrop,
Ooh.
which is a bulb. So just because it doesn't
Yeah.
bloom during Christmas, but snowdrop is interesting, so that's there. And then the moose
He's good.
is there, and I'll show you where I got all my
Yeah.
pieces from. So
And the squirrel.
and then moose and squirrel. I was
love
working on
that.
the moose and looked up and saw my Mighty Acorn from Blackbird's design.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, oh, the adventures of moose and squirrel.
All right, I'll
That's-
hold it.
that's
and
it,
you.
so.
Did you take?
Yeah. So
my
if
gosh,
you've got
that's gorgeous.
home for the holidays, you can get almost everything. So The mousse that I used is right here on the cover. It's part of the stocking. And then the borders that I used are from a different stocking. So you can see all of these borders. So I just took them
Okay.
from this pattern, Holly and Ivy. And then
So this one here came from a stocking.
yes.
That like that. And did you do any calculation or just be like, yeah, I think that'll work?
No, what I did was I just picked the center of the motif, and then I worked left, and then I worked right.
Okay. Okay.
From the motif until it was the proper width.
Oh my gosh.
And then the snowdrop flower came from the corner
Ooh.
of this sampler, and then the cardinal came from this sampler as
So
well.
that's Blessings Be Thine, which I would love to stitch that
Yeah.
too. You should stitch that to go with this. I'm just saying. Just prop it up next
Well,
to it.
yeah, I've got also in this book is Christmas Garden, and I mean everybody's seen it, so I don't know why I need to, but is Blessing is Christmas Garden, and so I've got that kitted, so that might be
Yeah, is that
a
your
start soon.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Oh, that'll look so good, all of it. I gotta tell you. Okay, so fabric.
oh, so the
You
fabric
picked-
is Picture This plus 32 count Cyprium. And then my color, my green is Weeks Dye Works Juniper. The red is Weeks Dye Works Merlot, and then the white is Weeks Dye Works Light Khaki.
Oh, I was gonna be so like, oh, it's whitewash.
No, so
But, okay.
I originally chose eggshell, but it was just too stark against that darker fabric.
Yeah.
And so I wanted something a little bit more cream, just
Right.
so that.
It'd be
I mean,
rich.
because it still pops.
Yeah,
quite a
well,
bit,
Cyprium, I think white, any kind of beige white is going to show up really good.
Yeah.
And so what's going on in here?
Oh, so I forgot to pick. I worked on that for a little bit, and this morning, it's going to be as
It's-
charted. It's a
Oh,
house with a
okay,
vase and a
right,
flower.
right.
So it's going to be just as charted, but with the red and white checkered house and a green plant.
And how'd you do
So-
your so you're finishing?
Yeah,
Talk
so,
about the flat
I
part
don't know
because
if you
that's
can-
impressive to me. I thought that
it's a little-
would be hard.
It's a little hard to show, but you can see that the four pieces in the corners are a little bit fluffier compared to the flatter center, and that is the pieces in the center are done according to directions, which is they are applied directly to sticky board,
Okay.
and to give them that flat appearance.
Right.
And then the corners are, the directions are a bit odd in that it's a pudding box, and then that pudding box has batting on it.
Yeah.
And so this is just sticky board with 4 layers of batting.
Okay.
And then all of the pieces, because I tried it putting them directly on the bottom of the box,
Yeah.
and it caused too much shadow.
Okay.
So all of these pieces have a piece of wood underneath them.
I
in
was
order
gonna
to
say
give 'em-
I like the fact that because you couldn't see mine when I first put them in.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
just
there you go.
I had just some wood, and so it's about
was gonna say-
3/4,
Okay.
maybe an inch tall, and then just spray painted in a black. I didn't even have to do that, but
Yeah.
yeah, but it's just the
That's
little,
perfect.
the little pieces just go right in the box, and then stitch piece right on top.
That was one of the things that that steered me away from doing that in the picture. It was
Yeah.
like it was down so deep.
Yeah.
And of course I didn't have that mechanical mind that said, let's just chop some wood up. And
Yeah, so it's,
so that worked out good.
Yeah.
Because I like the balance.
yeah, so that's,
phenomenal.
thank you.
That's phenomenal.
Cool.
We'll try and if you leave your notes, or I'll make a copy or something, I'll make sure to put the colors you use for the color conversion. And I'm sure you haven't shared that yet because it was
I haven't.
It was a
It was a
surprise.
I didn't even let her see it when I walked in.
No,
So,
I'm like, you're not going to show me, are you?
yeah, so that's
That's
casting
going to
the
be
spells out.
special.
Yes.
So I'm gonna guess that could be a finish by today if you get back to that
Yep.
one or something. So
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. All right.
So that's everything
That's
I worked on
October?
in October.
Well, what did I work on? Okay. Well, okay. Do you have new starts? Like, did you have any new starts?
No.
Okay.
That is literally, those three things are.
Okay. I had a new start. It was something that Tina and why does that feel heavy? Wanted to start together for Emily and for Philip. So this is the Prairie Schooler Santa's Night, and I'm always. Have you done many Prairie Schoolers?
I just do the yearly Santas. I have
You
not
do?
done
Okay.
the larger pieces.
How many
so.
yearly Santas do you have? Oh, do you
I
have a
have
lot?
I have 5 that are finished. I
Okay.
have 0 that are fully finished. I have a big bag of just
You have marching orders. Christmas is coming.
No,
No.
finishing takes time. So
Maybe you could just send them out.
I guess.
But we did start this, and you call that. This is, I was able to, when Tina was here, because we thought it would be fun to start it together. So I actually got the whole, almost the bottom part done. I'm on the last house.
Do you usually start in the bottom?
Because I stitch in hand, which that's a good question, you use a hoop?
I'm a hoop and I put it on a stand so I can
Okay.
two-hand it.
Okay.
So.
So I because I stitch in hand and do the sewing method for the most part.
Yep.
If you start at the bottom and you're constantly moving up with your needle, then it saves a whole lot of time.
Okay.
So if I can, I start bottom left. So that's where I got, and this is a 32 count. Picture this plus shadow. And actually, I have to admit, it's a little, I don't know that. Using the called for because Classic Prairie Schooler is very little. So it's interesting that these houses are gray, and if you look at the front, it looks beige. But it's actually a gray, and I knew I wouldn't, like, seriously, the black might kill me, so I knew I wanted something that looked like night for Santa flying,
Right.
so that's why I went with the blue.
No, I like
It's-
the marbling in that. So
Yeah,
it looks
it's
good.
real pretty, and it's not super easy to stitch on, I'll have to admit, but it's not terrible either. It's not like some that I've gotten
2 over
that are
2?
dark. Yep, 2 over 2, and that's it for that. That was my new start. And I'm kind of pleased with it because I looked at the pattern and the top was a bunch of writing, and then if I could, my plan was kind of this week if I could get my landscape stitching up to the top, which is like all these little, every other one all the way up.
Yep.
Then I would do the words and then I'd have Santa for last. So I kind of,
Okay.
I kind of feel like I
We'll
got my
finish Santa
plan
on
going.
Christmas Eve.
I hope not.
Oh,
But
so
that
it'll be
could
before. It'll be
yeah.
before Christmas
Yeah.
Eve. Okay.
I hope not. And then I did do one little finishing of a pillow that Tina had brought down. I think this is one of Brenda Gervais' hooplas.
Okay.
Something hoopla, which is normally she's stitched on. She's real tiny. She had stitched her twice, and you can't get. She was even hard to get a good picture of because look at that. Looks like vellum or something. It's
Yeah.
got a little green hue to it, but she's super cute. But I think the original that Brenda Gervais does is on. She's like on bright green,
Right.
like Kermit. I think
wow.
Kermit was
very
what it
green.
was on. And then I had Happy Mail from, her name is Yvette, but she's Mama Clement, and she does some beautiful stitching and beautiful wool work. And so she sent this for a tier tray. So it was really cute.
That's really pretty.
Isn't that cute? And she does some really cool finishing things. Like I know they can't see it on there, but those are nails, like black
Oh,
nails,
wow.
like to, yeah, I don't know if I
Is-
can,
Yeah, you can see them.
yeah. So, anyways, it was so
Black
cute,
nails.
and thank you, Yvette. And then one thing I thought would be cool for show and tell was, we found this, and because my mom and I, still love the old hooked rugs, we found this at Traditions Antique Mall. She actually found a sampler, which I couldn't believe it. Like, it was really kind of cute. So we fell in love with that, and right next to it was this. So these are probably They're super tiny cuts. I'm gonna guess they're a 4 cut. This would not be considered your primitive rug hooking, but I just like the kid and the field and the barn and that whole stuff. So I haven't figured out what to do, but isn't it interesting?
No, that's really
They were
good.
saying it was, you never know with these things, but they were saying it was maybe early 1900s or something. My guess is, I'm not sure. The boy doesn't quite look old with the hat.
The hat sort of doesn't seem.
But
early 1900s.
I thought it was, I just really liked it. So
No, it is a great piece, though.
yeah, that was kind of cool. And then I did get, how are you at project bags? What are your project bags that you
I don't
use,
have
Peter?
You're about ready to. So we're gonna show you my November plans, and she's making fun of the fact that I use Ziploc bags.
I just was like,
For every,
for,
I've got one.
we
I've got,
have to know the difference between a mail stitcher and what your priority is versus maybe what. I think that's just interesting, the difference, because
because I know a lot of the male floss tubers have project bags. I
Yeah.
just don't.
it's just
I don't.
not your thing.
I don't do the. I've got one project bag. I stitched the Willing Hands by Blackbird's Designs,
Okay.
and then had that finished into a project bag.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
that's
I don't know that I've seen that.
that's my fun. I'm going out, so I've got to put
That's
it
your
in
dress
a
up.
It's my yeah. So it's my dress. So that's what I bring for Sunday stitching, and if I need to. So
I
I've got,
have seen it then.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. That's my singular project bag that I only use.
We
going
might
out.
want to work on that
Yeah.
this year. It could be 2023 could be the year of the bag for you. I mean, that's
Berries.
yeah.
Next year's so
Oh
it's-
yes, I do want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, this was came in the mail, and this was from Cricklewood Crossing. So I just thought, when you do venture into bags, there's some pretty good ones out there. But I like you stitch some big pieces like I do,
Yep.
and these are awesome because of the fact that one, you can still see what's in there, but two, they're pretty big.
Yep.
And they hold a lot. And when you're working with almost a yard or a fat quarter or anything like that,
A yard. That's a
yeah,
good piece.
right. I've done it. And then she sent me as a gift her newest scarecrow pattern. So
That's very cute.
right, I had to. She was at Jennifer. She was at StitchCon, and so she brought Linda and I bags that we had ordered there. And I don't know how it is that you can miss things on people on Instagram that you didn't know. I didn't know she had cross stitch patterns until she was set up in the annex. So
Okay.
she has some good pirate ones.
Okay.
Some good Halloween ones. But okay, so I can save some more for later. What you got? What's on your?
So I've got November plans.
All right.
So that's those are previous finishes. So my November plans are my failed September sampler plans. Which yeah.
Can I join you on that?
No,
'Cause
no,
that
no.
did not
So
work.
the reason my September sampler plans failed is because the last week of August, my unicorn chart came up for sale on eBay.
Oh.
And so I had to hop on it. So it was the Summer Harvest by Blackbird Designs, and then this is one of the 12 in the Abecedarian series.
Yes.
So so I had to jump on that right away, and then it showed up at my house, and it showed up on September 2nd, and then on September 9th I started it, and on September 24th I had to finish.
Wow.
So that was, and it's still sampler like, it fits right into
That is gorgeous.
sampler September, but I was
Are
going to
you
work on
gonna
a bunch
frame
of
it?
things.
Or are you gonna? I mean, I'm just as far as like
Yeah,
sometimes
so-
I look for examples of. They always have those box finishes.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm like that. That's actually a nice size if someone ever wanted to mount it onto
No,
a wooden
it's-
box.
It
because you
was my
always find it,
unicorn
but-
chart,
ooh.
so I want to have it framed.
Yeah.
So this is Summer Harvest by Blackbird Designs on Legacy Linen's 37 count corn tassel, and then using over dyed cottons. Now the thing is that other floss tubers have mentioned this, but you know, overdyed cottons can change quite a bit. So I started with the DMCs, and then had help from everyone who was around the stitching table at Brick City, and said, okay, how can we do a conversion? Like the pear in the center is actually Tangerine Delight, which was really orange, but in the picture, it's really pink.
Yeah.
And so that one got changed, and some of the greens are similar, so they got changed as well. So
It is
yeah,
beautiful.
so this is, and again, this is family members' initials in the lower corner. So some of the alphabet had to be moved around. So
I literally thought that you had it reversed and were showing them the back, but that's how good his back is.
yeah, so this is that's
he's-
my
wow.
that's my back. So
Yeah.
I use I start and finish using the pin stitch,
Okay,
just so that way it does stay tidy. So
that's
Yeah.
nice.
yeah, so that's why my September plans completely disappeared. So for all of November, it's going to be working on my samplers. I've only got 5 whips. Oh, I only have 5 works in progress. So total, yeah. So
All.
yeah, so that's
Okay.
yeah. So I need to. I've got plans for a Christmas start and a New Year's start. So I need to make really good progress on my pieces.
Yeah.
So
Alright,
the
hold
first one is Edward 1874. This is from European Reproduction Samplers.
I'm gonna get it in close for 1 second there.
Michelle from the Striped Rose, she does a lot from this company, and Lisa, Kindred Stitchers, currently working on a floral wreath sampler from this company as well. So, yeah, so this is my Bristol.
This is a Bristol. Okay.
Yeah, this
okay,
is
Bristol sampler.
I love the history of the Bristol samplers,
Yes.
and I wanted one on my wall, just so that way I can have one. So, and this is a 56 count Seraphim biscuit, and then the floss is SWA 103 number 664. What you see is I still have 20 rows of stitches before I reach the bottom of page 3. So this is actually,
that how they do it then?
yeah. So this
Oh.
is page 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So their pages don't go this way. They
well,
go
maybe it
like
does, but it's like a lot of people. I wanted to get to the fun stuff at the
Yeah.
bottom. I wanted to get to the motifs. So all I did was just yeah. So it's 20 pages long,
that? Oh my.
and so this
Let's see
is
if I can get it.
yeah. So sorry, that was
Oh.
very far away. Yeah. So I'm
Oh.
20 stitches away from the bottom of page 3, and that is
That's the Soie
yeah,
d'Alger?
no,
or
it's,
that's
no, it's a SWA 103.
Okay.
There's 153 feet of silk on that spool,
Wow.
and I'm only on page 3.
Like we said,
Yeah,
you
it
need
goes.
a lot more.
It goes through a lot,
Right.
and so.
And that goes by numbers.
Yes, it does.
Okay. I like this one. I like the script.
Yeah, the
in
script.
that-
The script was a lot of fun. This script
is work,
alphabet
I can
was
tell
a
you.
lot of fun to do as
Yeah.
well. So
This is quite a bit of stitching.
yeah,
That's
and I'm using a number 10 beading needle.
this feels
to do-
soft. How do you like working with the Seraphim fabrics? I don't know that I've ever stitched
I
on it.
like the Seraphim
Do you?
fabrics.
Okay.
The one thing about the Seraphim fabrics is sometimes they can be a bit too pink for me.
Okay.
So I like seeing
Because
them.
that looked nice.
Yeah, I like seeing them in person,
Yeah.
and so
Is that something Victorian Rose carries? Okay.
Victorian Rose carries those as well. And then this
Okay.
is Fruits of Plenty by.
I meant to
Modern-
bring mine out, and I don't.
You told me to
I
bring this,
know,
and
I
I'm like, oh, we'll be
know.
able to compare. So,
Yes, I'll get it out and
Yeah.
I'll share a picture of them together. Yeah.
So then this is This was my birthday start in 2021, and so that is the fabric is R&R reproduction 40 count Virginia Beach.
Now, did you have that? Because R&R sometimes I know is hard to come by. So some people have it in their stash from.
I ordered it from Dying to Stitch.
Okay.
And had it sent. So I've got
beautiful.
some in-laws that live in Virginia Beach, so I wanted to say that I had Virginia Beach linen. So
there you go.
Yeah. So this is. I don't have a picture of the final piece, but you may have seen it. But a lot of it has the center, like this diamond.
Hold that up. I'll go get mine. Go ahead. You carry on.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, so the pattern comes as a one tone or two tone, and so this is the one tone using a black and white a black and white printer, and usually this is all white, and then the flowers and the vines show up in the negative. What I did instead was I used the single tone, so I am stitching the vines and the flowers, so those are all stitched, but I'm using the pattern from the two-tone for the medallions and the birds in the center. So it's a combination of the one-tone and the two-tone patterns. So I really thought I was saving time by not stitching all of those stitches and creating the vines in the negative, but it's taken just as much time to figure out which vines are white and which flowers and berries are gray. So it's just been, oh well. When I first started, I thought I was doing like a square dance, the Lazy Man's two-tone, but it's just proven to be quite a bit of work. So and then these are my floss.
It's right here, Peter.
You got too many works in progress.
I know.
So then this is these are my floss. The Blanc and 453. And so that's my fruits of plenty.
All right, so that's the color picture. Like
Yeah, so all of this blue are stitches, and then the white is the linen in the background. But
Right.
for me, I'm stitching
You're
the
doing
white.
the opposite.
Yeah, well, just in this diamond.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Let's see who's farther.
You may. So Curious Crafters, Anna and Carolyn are really pushing this. So
Are they?
Yeah. So this
All
is
right.
this is why.
So
it's
you're
sort of
well now. Remember what size did you say yours on? 56,
40.
40,
Yeah.
and mine's 28 because this was like years
That's
ago.
what you're most comfortable
Yeah.
with.
Well, and
Yeah,
this was
so-
something Mom and I are going to do.
That's
So
about
we've
the
got
same.
the top.
Yep.
Yep. And the only thing I think I have extra is a start
On the
here.
next medallion.
Yeah. We got work to do. But I do
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah. November.
Yes.
That's what I'm gonna work on in November. So I'm calling it No New November.
No new November.
No one else is
Gotcha.
calling it that, but that's what I'm.
We might. Mine are DMC. I think it's my two favorite blues, the 924 and 926.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why those are always my favorite, but
And then my next project for November is Lit Love Rain. This is Teresa Kogut. This was from her one of her market releases this year, and it is in the book Lit Love Rain. So there's some really good
this
patterns
was
in
this year's market release, and
Yeah.
I jumped on that too. I didn't really. That was my favorite. That was put out at market. Was
Yeah.
that one? Oh, you are moving.
Yeah. So this is what.
Oh, man,
This
I
is
totally want to do this.
yeah.
Oh,
So
it's
then
gorgeous.
this is Lit Love Rain by Teresa Kogut, and I'm doing it on 40 count Seraphim Prairie Grass. Paragrass
beautiful.
Paragrass is one of my favorite fabrics. I also used it for my floral motifs
Okay.
by Scarlet House and
Are those
another
the?
project. Yeah, and then this is the
Those are beautiful.
the called for floss. It's all DMC except for all of the vines on the edge are Oscar. Weeks dye work
Okay.
Oscar.
Oh
So,
my gosh, that is gorgeous.
um,
I love those colors.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about it is that you've got a lot of blue, like these flowers, the houses, the jacket. There's a lot of blue in this pattern, but
Yeah, where is it?
It's only one.
Oh,
There's only one called for
That-
blue.
I would have
in
never
that,
thought that.
I didn't either. I was so surprised when I picked it up from market. So,
Wow.
yeah, so it's just one blue in that entire sampler. So
And it actually, to be honest, doesn't even really look like that blue, does it? When
No,
you hold it up, like
no,
that looks
it's-
a little bit different.
it's a little bit brighter. So
Yeah.
and
Oh,
this
those
is
are so pretty.
yeah, and I haven't worked on this for a while just because I'm at a
You got a weird
I'm at a
spot.
bad spot.
Yeah.
Because these little circles that are here in the center, they're supposed to be
These.
these
little-
circles right
yeah,
here in the
okay.
center. They're supposed to be 7 stitches wide, but from here on over, I've only got them like 5 stitches wide. So I either need to. They're either 5 circles, 7 stitches wide, but I have 7 circles that are 5 stitches wide. If that, and so
Yeah,
so
but-
this stitch right here on the very end, that is in the exact spot that a ring needs to finish.
Okay.
And so I could just continue out the end.
I feel like, if you're asking my
No,
opinion,
let's hear it. Yeah.
I feel like you should finish this row,
Yeah.
see how far it goes, bring your border down.
Yeah. Well, this is it right here.
Because you can't tell.
That's the edge
Yeah.
of the border right there.
So if you brought that down and finished the house row, then address that situation because it's not going anywhere, then as you come
Yeah.
over, because you cannot tell the difference between those two. So if you just continued like a sampler
Yeah,
and just
so
finish
that's-
your division, I always call those like a divider row,
Yeah.
then maybe it won't be a big deal.
And that's where I was.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it.
Yep.
But
But, oh dear gosh.
the but is that I am currently doing this row of circles. And the row of circles are repeated here,
Oh,
and the row of circles is repeated down here as well. So the row of circles at the very top where everybody's eye starts is going to be different than the other
others.
set of rings. So I've just gotten to a point where it's like, okay, those
yeah.
wrong circles are going to have to be frogged
out.
and redone.
Yeah, I mean, you'd either have to do that, which is going to make you feel better once it's done.
Yep.
Or you'd have to actually restitch each one the way you did it and hope that it's
yeah.
like that with
Yeah,
the
so
other
I've
things
just
around
gotten
it.
to a point where it's like, okay, I've got to
Yeah,
take
it
them
had
out
a little timeout,
and do
didn't
yeah.
it? Little
Yeah,
timeout.
yeah. So that's November plans, and then my last one is Scarlet House, Sarah Redfern.
Oh, beautiful.
So I've loved this one for a long time. When Brenda and Laura did one of their early videos going through all of their Scarlet House,
Yeah.
Brenda had featured this one as one of her finishes, and for quite a while it was in the background for Carol Softbox Stitcher.
Okay.
And so
I gotta look at
that's-
this pattern.
yeah, that's all I've done is just this
Oh,
little
so-
corner.
So pretty.
And then this is on the 46 Little Bunny by XJU Design.
Oh, now that I've heard of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And,
I like some of her colors, especially the little bunnies.
yeah. And then this is the called for overdyed flosses.
These are pretty.
I did try to keep them in floss away bags so that way they didn't get fuzzy, but they just aggravated me.
Because those are the silks. Those are classic colors. Those are the silks.
These are the Belle Soie silks. This one for quite a while was on timeout because green is my favorite color, and so I become a bit picky about them.
Yeah.
And this border
Yeah.
is called chocolate, and sometimes it just doesn't look green enough for me for a border.
Right, because you're assuming it's a vine of some sort.
Yeah,
and
well, it's honeysuckle vine.
Okay.
So, but I was told that I was overanalyzing it, and I should just get it done because it does look good. I mean, it does look good. So,
I mean, I think it's just one of those things when you're working close up, it gets to you, and then to others, or when you're holding it back, because in the picture it looks green.
yeah.
Far away, it looks like it's a green border, so I can see when you're stitching it.
Yeah, and I just liked, I raised sheep for 4-H when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So it talks about the Lord as a shepherd, so that's why I like that verse as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my November plans, is working on those so that way I don't feel guilty when I start something for Christmas.
Dude, got a lot of good stuff.
Oh,
I want to
thank you.
know, I love that color one.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is, those are November plans. This is
Okay.
These
are finishes.
do you have anything else to show?
Well, I
for
got cute
plans?
witch boots.
Let's see the witch boots.
You want to see
and
the
then-
witch boots? This is where you have to be Lynn and go, ooh, although, ooh, these are the, are these
Those are
right?
great.
Aren't
Those
they
look
awesome?
Great boots.
Right. Okay. So these were from Tina. You did great. You did great. And then
Those are so cute.
they are. Look at those little. That is adorable.
Yeah.
And then one of the things I'll show you next time is this is like a mess right here because I kind of got my sewing machine went into timeout a while back. Yeah. So Tina, while she was here, kind of got me helped a little bit. So I would like to get back into just some of the smaller stuff. And anyway, so we revamped that. I got my machine out, but this was something I shared on Instagram that she had made for Philip. And so I was able, of course, it's got Boney Maroney. There you go. You got him in the middle. So anyways, I ended up grabbing for her and I the charm packs, like 3 of these. And while she was here, we made a really long table runner in it that I'll show next time on my farmhouse table. So that was just a show and tell.
Good. Is that, should she,
Yep.
Get
She
it
did the
quilted with
free
long arm?
motion.
Okay.
She doesn't have a long arm. She kind of just, it's called
the sewing machine?
dropping your feed dogs.
okay, I'm not a
And-
quilter, so.
Yeah, right? But you'd like it. You'd like
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
you would. But those are great
I
witch
like
boots.
the geometric
Yeah.
patterns.
Well, they
so.
make those charm packs that they've got pre-cuts. They call them pre-cuts.
Yep.
And so that's kind of about all because I just would rather stitch. But I like to have these things, and so she kind of got it working again. So that's kind of, and then I've got, which is totally up your alley. It's just like a
Very good.
Blackbird. Yeah. But I did, I picked easy stitching. So Tina came, and then my sister came, and then my dad had his second eye surgery, and then my sister stayed, and every night I was down there stitching and gabbing. So I didn't want anything where I was doing major counting. So
Good stitching for visiting.
yeah.
Yep.
So my Beulahs are usually good stitches for that. And so I wanted something where Beulah was kind of going into fall, and I wanted a farm. So this is a new release that I have, which is Beulah's Autumn Harvest. And she's growing candy corn, and she's growing pumpkins in her garden. Jeremiah's at the garden gate. And of course, I had to put my pumpkin pig from when I did 4-H, but it was with a horse.
Okay.
And she's got a pumpkin pie in the window, and I kind of felt like my Beulah was more like a cottage type of a witch,
Yep.
not like your grande homes. And so this was a new release, and I tried something different, which was kind of like really going against everything that I'm used to for finishing, but I tried it. So this was a pumpkin from Hobby Lobby.
I was gonna comment on that. I like
Yeah.
how the box has that like orange type finish,
Yeah.
and then the
And it
cinnamon
had
stem.
that. I
on
added
top.
those because it it just felt like it didn't have enough. But I'm not a big I like a lot of stuff in my house, but I'm not foo-foo.
Yeah.
So I did add a few of these just with the acorns. Yeah. And so this was actually half off. So then I had the guy Mike use sticky board at Hobby Lobby, and then I added the black, which was like a trim, the cording. And I used that Aleene's glue because I just really felt like it needed black. And I attempted to paint these end pieces black, but maybe the black cording's enough.
Right.
But,
no, I think the black cording is
okay.
enough.
So
I
think
really
the thing is, the only thing I learned was I love the scarecrow, but I would recommend, and it's just, I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me as an authentic person.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of disappointed that I didn't pay attention to the green. I wasn't going to change Witch Beulah to not have green skin.
Right.
To be, so she comes home and she lets her hair down and she's got her sunbonnet on and she's got her gardening, those are boots. But I did not like the two colors as much, and if I didn't share that with you, I wouldn't be real. I feel like the chicken color should be different.
I was confused by the you mentioned two colors. You mean
where
the two
green,
colors of the
touch
chicken
and her green,
the,
yes. I feel like you could have done a black chicken. I feel like I should have
a Plymouth Rock.
Yeah,
chicken.
A Barred Rock, a Plymouth Rock, exactly. Yep. And I was going for the Buff Orpington because that's what I had. But anyway, so there's, you got a couple of mice on the farm. This is my daughter's dog, Golden Retriever, Duncan. And again, I'd still say you can change anything you want. You can change your chicken colors. You can change the house color. I didn't want it to be a spooky Halloween feel. I wanted it to be more fall.
Yeah, but I do like that tree. That's a great Halloween tree.
Thank you. So, and people can add what they want. But that's out there. That was my finish. And yeah, it was different. But it's weird when you're so used to, I'm a framer.
Yep.
I like my pieces up, framed, a lot of times hunky. But I thought, well, let's try something different.
That's a great piece.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And I love it every now and then, like the Prairie Schoolers I did. There's a shadow box that if you get something that's more for like square. Yep. I like that. Mike's good at he'll mat the inside of the shadow box and take the glass out. But I like it because it sits good on a table. Yep. Good. But all right, what you got? Right.
So Chrissy and Stitchy Linda asked me to bring some previous finishes just to show what I have done in the past. So I've got previous finishes,
which are gorgeous.
The first one I'm going to show is this is my Anniversary of the Heart. This was my New Year, new start for 2022. So each one of these is this way I can see.
Okay.
So just a few things on what I did. I'm one of those folks who changed the first block. This border is supposed to have white flowers, so I changed them to blue. If I were to do it again, I would change it to Mountain Mist and Old Money. I used Moonlight Path, which is a little too green. Mountain Mist is a little bit more gray.
Yeah.
Just because it would have fit in a little bit better. And then the other big change was here in the center. These are supposed to be swans, but so the purple strips are covering last names. Our number one security question is mother's maiden name. So I'm just covering up everybody's last name for security reasons, but all of the blocks are using full given names. And so these swans in the center have very tall wings. So I had to cut off the wings. And it's like, well, now they look like white geese. So I made them into Canada geese. So it was a lot of sitting there and looking at my stash, looking at a picture of a Canada goose. And so those are the exact shape of the swans. It's just I eyeballed where they would go. So and then down here is supposed to have a Remember Me, but I just put in a very large snowflake. Actually, the snowflake that was up here that I removed for names, I just moved down here. So that way it was December. These are my paternal grandparents, and so they had a white house and a barn, and so that farm has been in my family for 8 generations.
Wow.
So this is originally a red house, and so I changed it to a red barn. I just changed the doors.
Is that farm in Illinois?
It's in Illinois.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then I changed the verse. It's supposed to say, "My name is, my home is here," but because every block has a house, I wanted to change it to a Bible verse that spoke about houses. So it's my people will live in protected dwellings, in secure homes, in peaceful places of rest. And that's Isaiah 32:18. Yeah. So the reason I sighed,
cool.
the reason I sighed is because I posted on Instagram that I had a full finish,
Yeah.
and somebody's like, "Oh, which Bible did you use?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, let me look," because I use the websites,
Yeah.
because it's really, you can say, okay, which version of the Bible do I want to
Right.
use?
Right.
So I went back and looked, and I had stitched Isaiah 23 when it's really 32.
Oh, gotcha.
So I had to pick out some 40 count 1/1. You shouldn't cuss when you're reading Bible verses, but I did. I said a bad word when I'm like, oh no.
And I'm sure the
So-
Lord forgave you right then and there. 'Cause he's like, dude,
he's
1/1.
he's
it's
a
all
stitcher.
right.
He'll
Yeah,
understand.
right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, but so this is a lot of. This is the very definition of a labor of love. Started it on January 1st. I put the very last stitch in on May 23rd. I worked on it every day except for 10 days.
Really?
And that's when we did the Seasons of the Heart salve.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stopped for 10 days to do that salve.
You
then
stitched
went
that
back.
in 10 days? Oh.
Yeah. It's
the
a small
house,
piece.
The house.
No, it's
oh.
the Seasons of the Heart with thy needle and thread.
Okay.
I did the autumn.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So-
I gotcha.
Yeah, so that's
And perfect frame.
yeah.
Is your arm killing you?
Yeah, it's starting to shake, so you can tell. Yeah, so that's
And I love that he's got everything documented
Yeah,
on the
so,
back because
yeah, so
I love that.
um
How'd you do
not
that?
not only was that, so we can show this one. I've got labels, and so she was looking at the labels on the back of my Anniversaries of the Heart. I've got everybody's name, everybody's birth date, death date. I'm not going to show that.
No, that's so sad.
Well,
Yes.
no. It's just like if you thought last names was a security
Yeah.
risk all those days.
Right, yeah.
So what I do is on the back of all of my pieces, I have just mailing labels. The 3x3 or 3x4 inch mailing labels. Usually the mailing labels comes with some kind of software that automatically formats it for you. So I just put all the information. I looked online, various designers and Etsy shops have labels like this. So I just looked at several of them to see what kind of information I would
Yeah.
want or not want. And so just a simple mailing label that's been printed.
I kind of like that, especially on that one versus like some are nice. So you got a little sticker and it's got something
Yep.
cute on
Yep.
it and all that. But when you've got that much information,
Yeah. No one sees it, so I don't need a fancy
this
sticker.
one's staying here. It's just staying right
Yeah,
here.
no, this
I
is
got space.
So this is I didn't pull the patterns, sorry y'all, but so this is Plum Street samplers. The top two are the summer salt boxes. The middle is the autumn salt boxes, winter salt boxes, and then the spring salt boxes. This is using R&R reproduction 40 count Patriots brew. And so somebody pointed out that it's a bit odd to have spring at the bottom rather than the top because it comes first. But Summer has this flag that goes all the way across both.
Yeah.
And so I wanted that linear line to be at the very top of the piece.
Yeah.
And so that's why I chose
I like it.
Summer to go first. And then this alphabet is just a free alphabet from the internet.
Okay, so Plum Street, how
Oh,
did it come out? In individuals?
So
or?
each season has 2 patterns in one pack.
Okay.
So both of these are sold as summer salt box.
Okay.
Both of these are autumn. And then once you open the package, it's labeled as salt box 1, salt box 2.
Okay.
So
I love that. And then you on your own decided to put the alphabet in.
Yeah, so
Okay.
when you look at these on the package, they look like little Polaroids. And so I just combined them all, and to break up all the squares, I put in this alphabet. And the alphabet is 1/1. And everything else is 1/2.
You want to know something I like that's just different?
What's that?
I like that you have most of the time in samplers, I try to follow that rule of you're coming in close.
Yeah.
Not this whole inch, or the way in vintage that we would do that. I like the fact that this one has this chunk because it almost looks matted.
Yeah. Yeah, so
But it needed that, and I love that.
That border, I wanted it to sort of mimic a sampler. I wanted it to be a little bit sparse. So I originally stitched the first block every other, so that way it had a checkerboard effect.
Yeah.
Except for that border is all oatmeal, and so the oatmeal on the Patriots Brew didn't show up very well. So I went back and put in the missing ones, and then for the rest of it, I put in a solid border, just so that way it showed up better.
Let me hold it closer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right over there. There you go.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So that's spring, winter.
Look at those colors.
Yeah, and this is all called for colors. So,
This like is my favorite with the 2 differences.
yeah, so those are my initials, PJD,
Yeah, I love
and originally it just had a number. I don't know what the
Okay.
number meant, but
Yeah.
that's that. And these little squares are long stitches.
I saw that
over
when
the
it was
top,
flipped
and they
around.
look really cool. So
Yeah.
and I liked this moon too, with the 2 different shades and the
Yeah.
crescent. And then these sheep are, so you can see that it has sort of a purplish gray tinge to them. That's Shabby sheep. So, and I changed my horse because the horse was gray. And I didn't want,
I love that. I would want to change it then too.
I didn't want a gray horse on top of a gray building. So
Yeah.
I changed the horse to like a chestnut. So
I love that.
yeah,
I would
so-
have been bummed if I got it and then thought it was gray because I love that.
All right, and then another previous finish is early Christmas morning. This is the one that Linda told me I absolutely had to show, along with Anniversaries of the Heart. And this is, and the reason she wanted me to show it is because I used the Addict's silk conversion. So then this is.
It's hold on one second.
Yeah.
Let's put
So
this
it's-
behind it.
It's showing through.
Yeah. I don't
so
think they're gonna see that it's actually like
it's
a
small.
not pinkish color here, but it's got a it's got a hue to it.
So this is 56 count fox and rabbit up in the attic.
Okay.
And this is just one of those things that each count has a different color to it. Because I've used up in the attic for other pieces, and it is a very beautiful brown.
Okay.
And this just for some odd reason has a little bit more pink to it.
Yeah.
So and then this goes around the border, around the edge. So
It is absolutely so beautiful.
and I've never made a drum, so I'm sending this off to a finisher to be done because
Yeah.
I'm not going to learn on a 1-inch tall drum
Right.
on something this special. So
Now-
that's my early Christmas morning.
Did that come? Did you kit that up at the attic?
So,
So you
I
got
had
to
it
go.
mailed. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that they mailed it to me.
Okay.
And so if you want to see a finished picture of it, Jean from the attic included a picture of hers in the attic newsletter, January 2021.
And she just
on
had a
page
new one
42.
come out.
Yeah, she's got one that
just-
comes out regular, but
Yeah,
but to see the
okay.
finish of that, she's
Okay.
got a tiny pair of scissors beside it.
Okay.
So yeah, so because she's got chenille edging on it and
Yeah.
a pair of tiny scissors, so it looks really cool.
And did you get to meet Jean when you were
I
at
did.
the attic?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did?
So our Christmas plans were canceled, so we had some money
Yeah.
at the airport or with the airline, and so I convinced my husband to go to Phoenix. So we went to Phoenix and Sedona.
And just happened to pop into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
attic.
it just happened. So he knows about it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's like, oh, I see what you're doing. So
Yeah.
so I spent time to get there.
Stitcher's
So-
got to scam a little bit. I mean, you got to know. You got to hit the shots.
One of the interesting things about Phoenix, about that is at the airport, the Phoenix airport has several art installations.
Yeah.
And right above the car rental place is this very large installation called Cross Stitch.
Really?
I'm like, I don't know who they had to convince to do that, but yeah, it's called Cross Stitch, and
That's
it's
cool.
this huge installation above them. I'm like,
Oh,
they haven't met Jean at this airport.
right,
so.
right.
And then the other one is this is upside down. This is
Jacob's, right?
yeah. So this
Okay.
is Move Forward in Love, and
Love it.
this is yeah. So this is the funny story behind this one is that I started to put all the colors on a table, and all of the stitchers at the table are like, "Wow, that's a lot brighter than." That's a lot more color than what you usually do.
Yes,
Pete." And I'm
exactly.
like, yeah, it is. It's a lot of color for what I did, but I actually did a conversion to overdyed cottons. Jacob, the designer at Modern Folk Embroidery, did a really good job of being true to the pride flag. And so this is like, the called for is like a fire engine red and
Oh, okay.
a traffic cone orange.
Yeah, I would have
And-
to
and it
slightly
does-
tone that
yeah,
down
so,
a bit.
So he did an excellent job of staying true to
Right,
the
right.
pride flag, but it doesn't fit into my stitching room decor. I mean, you've seen all my Blackbird. It doesn't fit in.
Right.
So this was a fun afternoon of just laying everything out on a table, asking everybody for their opinions
Right.
on what would be the appropriate color conversion. This is a smaller piece. It's 131 by 131, but it caused me so many headaches.
Mm.
I did, for some odd reason, I counted the bottom row, let's just say it was 13 stitches as the center, which was 11 stitches, and so this was too wide, this bottom.
Yeah.
And I stitched this bottom and the purple and the blue and the green, and then when I put in the word forward, it didn't fit appropriately.
I gotcha.
So I had to unpick two
Oh.
rows of all the purple, blue, and green, unpick it so that way it was
That
the
would have been in a
appropriate size.
long time out for me, like a
Yeah.
really long
well,
time out.
I really wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
And- but I had to do that because I hadn't done any of the vines or flowers on this edge.
Yeah, you'd have been all off.
And I would have been completely off. So I had to
Right.
spend the time to unpick it. And
So are you gonna
it was such a
frame
great-
it? It's such
I
a
am.
nice size
yeah.
for
it-
that. Yeah.
So this I'm trying to find it fits perfectly into, so the finished size is 6.5 by 6.5.
Okay. I was
So
gonna
I'm
say, I
trying
like
to
that
find
it's
an
square.
8 by 8 inch square frame to
Okay.
put it in. This is the Seraphim 40 count chai with my own. And if you want to see my colors, my Instagram has them
Yeah,
listed. So
that's good.
yeah. So let's move forward in love.
I love that. And I love that I would have had to have toned it down too, like absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you're getting all the colors like that, but the part with Jacob's stuff like that is you can't be off especially
Yeah.
on that part.
Yeah.
When you're doing that octagon or whatever, like you can't be off on that.
But I love doing his stuff.
I do
I
too.
love that geometric type.
Did you see the error on, like, I did something similar, but I don't share all my errors. But the very first one here, luckily it didn't make a huge difference. But I don't feel like looking at it, it's a huge difference. But somewhere in here I got off and I forgot to do the next line.
Oh.
There's an inside right there, line
Oh,
there
second-
that drops
second
down,
border.
and
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Right.
So luckily, the good part is yes, you got to be careful, but once you have the shape in accurate, if the outer one is, what goes on the inside is not too bad.
Right.
If you have to make a change, then you can. But the other stuff you just can't be,
Right.
you can't be off on. So, well, that was cool.
Yeah. So that's
So
that's a
you've
lot.
got it-
You're not doing hauls, so that's good.
You show me your haul, just because I don't have haul.
Oh, okay.
Do I have haul? I don't have much haul.
So this is my October haul. This is everything I bought in October.
Okay, that's low.
I know. Yeah. So Gene had a sale on Plum Street at the beginning of the month.
And this was
And
your
so-
one you wanted, right?
Yeah, this is the one I've
Yes.
wanted. I've wanted this since it was released at Acorn and Threads, and so that's what it's looking.
Good company,
good
right?
Company.
Good
Yep.
company and
It's got a
cute
little
fox.
there in the corner. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna finish it like this. This is also Plum Street samplers, the French woolens, but I stitched it 1/1 on 25 count Lugana, just straight 28 count ivory Lugana. So, and then it's got a little
1/1 28 count?
25.
25 count.
Yeah, 25, just so that
Like
way
what
it's
Linda does, like
Yep,
that?
yep. And so it's a little needle book, and so
Love
I've
it.
got room for a
And
corner gauge and scissors and
And it
other
totally matches
tools.
your sheep.
yep,
You were a
my
sheep
sheep.
herder.
And so
Got it.
So I'm gonna do that a needle book finish on
Nice.
using that just for something different than a pillow.
Yeah.
And then Victorian Rose Needle Arts had a Halloween sale. So I bought some R&R sheep straw, which is a good neutral. I always like having it.
It is pretty.
And then I did 4 drums. I finished, but didn't fully finish 4 drums this year. So next year is strawberries. So I got the Deck the Halls by Blackbird Designs. There's 12 strawberries in this. So
I'm excited. I
that'll be
started
next
my
year.
first strawberry, which was the Halloween one, which
Oh,
I need
yep.
to finish. So Jennifer, Sweet Cast Stitcher, she finished her. She's
Right.
like finishing. Do you follow her
I
yet?
do, yep.
Oh my gosh, she just keeps
Finishing
finishing.
a lot.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, slow down. You make me look bad.
And then I also got Our Lasting Friendship. So I think it was Olivia on Pumpkin Hollow Quilts.
Yep.
She just did it this year, and there's a group of folks that are doing. They like broke it up into several pieces, and then each friend does a different piece. So I'm thinking of stitching everything and then asking people to sew. Oh, actually, it's on the
Stitch a
back
little
too.
something.
Yeah, well, so I would do the outside and the
Okay.
border, and then I would ask people to sew the medallion and their initials for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, the only thing that I've been trying to figure out though is that what count. So
I mean, 36 is a nice count.
Yeah.
And you still would get your single ply
yeah,
look that you like. I mean, I think some people could go, like, it was weird.
And it's a-
How come I can do 40 on needle and flax, but I can't do 40 on, not that I can't do it, but it's not fun
right,
quite
yeah.
to do
So
it.
that's
Yeah.
that might be a test of our friendship is whether or not
Yeah.
they'll stitch on 40 for me.
That's right. How much do you really like me? Okay.
Yeah, no, but I would choose 36, and I also
Yeah.
toyed with the idea of doing 32 1/1 or 1/2 on 32 to really give it that faint look.
Yeah.
I would just need to look. So that might be my 2023.
Is this the fabric you maybe we're thinking of?
No, because this is 40.
Yeah, but it's light. We might be able to see it.
Well, it's so.
Because I'm your friend.
Yeah. You're gonna make it awkward, aren't you?
Just a little bit.
No. Thank you for having me, though.
She'll be stitching a Beulah on there.
So, yeah, you would have one, of course. But this is so I'm doing all of so last year Heartstring Samplery did those hymns.
Yes.
And so
the Sunday stitching she did or something. Yeah.
And
like
so
those.
my mom was an organist.
Oh.
And so I've heard those hymns multiple times.
Right.
So I've got 6 of the 12 finished.
Okay.
And all of them are being done on different colors, but all on 40 count. So
all one piece 40 count? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Because I'm like that would be cool too. Are you giving it to her? I mean, Mom doesn't have to watch this.
She's seen the 6 that I have finished. I have stalled out on it just because I don't know how I'm going to finish it.
Yeah. Okay.
What I was going to do was I was going to make a quilt.
Mm-hmm.
I was going they would have been in the center of a panel.
Right.
And then stitch the appropriate amount around it, and I did the math, and it would be like a 6 by 8 foot quilt, and it's overdyed cottons, overdyed linen.
Right.
So you can't really use it on a bedspread.
I was going to say you'd have to hang it on a wall.
You would have to hang it on a wall,
Yeah.
but then it'd be 6 by 8, which is a huge.
Unless you
hanging.
went 3 across and 9. No.
I don't.
Yeah,
anyway,
you'd have to play with it.
I've got to figure out how I'm going to finish it. So,
Yeah.
So that 40 count is probably going to.
I always thought it would be cool to design something where you'd have to know them. You'd have to be a person that knew them. But like I love In the Garden.
Yeah.
And there's just some of those that you just need 3 words and you know what someone's talking about. And I don't know. There are some people that like the ones where it's got every different word for Jesus in.
Yeah.
I like that, but I want the one where it's more personal to you. It's like, so if you took all of those that were your favorite and put them in there, I think that would be kind of cool.
You mentioned In the Garden. In the new book from Blackbird Designs, they've got the one that's got the 5 panels.
Yeah.
That's going to probably, depending on how much I get in November, that might be my Christmas Day start.
All right.
And I've reformatted it to be In the Garden rather than the current quote.
Well,
so
in November, I mean, you're welcome to join us too. But Linda's gonna come, and we're gonna do one, and we're gonna do.
That's all that can fit on your screen is 2 people. So
we're gonna do a heart to heart because we were gonna do the Told in a Garden, and we've got 40 flosses. I've got them wrapped. I'm ready to go, and I think that went.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it just changed. So I think we decided we were gonna do
country store, right?
Yep. And then one other one. Well, her birthday sal. Only Chris Leedy finished her birthday sal. Right?
Right.
I told her yesterday, I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I'm not even feeling it. I like it, but I think we decided we were going to have a FlossTube that was just a heart-to-heart and what we really wanted to start because I want to do some of that.
Do you watch Curious Crafters?
No, but I need to.
Yeah, go ahead and watch them. They have, I think it's like episode 6, because I mentioned it recently to somebody else. Episode 6 is called Stitch It or Ditch It.
Oh,
and
okay.
so each of them had 5 pieces.
Yeah.
And then they just sent it out to Instagram where you could vote on, on whether, so people could vote on whether they should stick with it.
Right.
Whether they should give it to somebody to finish it. Or repurpose it in a different format. So,
all right. Well, we'll link them in there.
See how.
Who else do you?
I mean, whoever. I mean, that's my.
So, is it Curious Stitchers?
Curious Crafters.
Curious Crafters.
Because they also do sewing and knitting.
Okay.
So it's needlework, but Curious Crafters.
And obviously, do you watch Jacob or just like his patterns?
Oh yeah, I watch Modern Folk Embroidery and you and
Well, come on.
Sweetwater Stitcher.
Stitcher.
I watch her as well.
It's
and
so many
all
get
the
out there
standards,
that
so.
it's hard. I have not watched. Paisley Stitcher.
Yep.
I've wanted
Watch her.
to watch that and I haven't. But when things get busy, I feel like I get so behind.
Yep.
And it's just, but
There's
you can
quite a
always
few of
pick
them,
back up.
so.
Yeah, you could never. But that's a new one. I'll have to link that below and try
Yep.
it. All right.
That's all I
Did we
have.
do it?
Yeah. It wasn't that long.
No, and you
Last
did
time.
so good. It's great. Yeah, I know for me, my plans are I would like to finish my Halloween strawberry,
Yep.
and that's Erica Michaels. And then I would like to try and finish my own birthday sale would be nice. And that's why I thought if
It goes quick.
if the casting a
It'll be
spell
good.
has to take a step back, finish my one pillow, I'd like to finish the month out. I put a sale. Olivia's birthday is October 28th.
Yep.
It's fun time for us, so I put a sale in my Etsy shop called Trick or Treat. And other than that, I just want to see some finishes. And then November, I'll have to join you with the.
No new November.
Well, I don't know about that.
It'll be good.
No, it'd be good. It'd be great. No.
It'll be fun.
So it's a hashtag.
No, it's not.
You
That's
made
just-
it
no,
one.
no, that's
You
just
did.
me. No.
Yo, we should
There's
totally
no
make a
there's enough
sal out of
hashtags.
that. And then we could
No.
all tag you in what we're finishing.
You can tag me on what you're finishing, but there's no hashtag. Anyways,
This was a big
so
deal.
I'm the number's 04 Pete's sake.
Which I love. How'd you come up with that?
Just a fun play on my name.
Yeah, it was cute.
So
And for the longest time, I'm like, oh man, I can't remember it. And then I don't get that. Why
Yeah.
couldn't I remember it?
Yeah.
Oh, for Pete's sake, I love that.
yep,
.fl though.
yep.
But I'll make sure it's down there so
Sounds
they can
good.
find you, follow you, subscribe, like, do all those things.
all the things.
All right, we are so glad you were here today. There's only one thing we always have to say, and he has to say it no matter what.
Brush twice daily. I've been waiting to say that.
I bet you did.
For an hour and
I'm gonna-
26 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to do it.
I am so
Anyways.
glad you drove down. Thanks so much.
And don't forget to floss.
Yes, don't forget to floss. Bye, guys.